Alright, we're back on gaming, and you know what? The things that we need to talk about this week, man, lies, companies backtracking, games not getting enough credit. I mean, there's a number of things that we have to talk about this week, and that I've tried to tell you before. This is what you need to watch out for, because they're coming for you, and you're going to know what I'm talking about once I get to it, okay? But, let's get started with these fucking liars. That's right, these SJWs. And you know, I'm so tired of them fucking lying about our community, about the industry. For those who don't know, apparently at E3, people were being roofied. It's like I'm at to start early and tell it how it is, because this guy is a fucking liar. I'll explain, okay? The story goes that he was stealing drinks at E3. You shouldn't be stealing fucking drinks, alright? That's number one, so you should be thrown out at any party if you get you stealing drinks. And he's trying to say it was his friend's drink. I don't give a shit whose friend it is. You don't steal someone's fucking drink. You don't. But apparently, he stole the drink, he had it, and all of a sudden, he wasn't feeling so well. It was drugged, and he was feeling weird for the next 2 days. Which is full of shit, okay? I'll explain. There is not any crack in the world, any cocaine in the world, no meth in the world, no weed laced with angel dust in the world, which will probably leave you paranoid more than anything. In the world, there's not a roofie in the world that would leave you hanging over for 2 days afterwards. Not one drug does that. Please, someone show me what fucking drug does that. Because last I checked, if those drugs were lasting for 2 days, do you understand how much the demand would go up? Do you understand how much the price would go up? There is a reason why when people take crack or coke, like I said, anybody can go out in the street and see these people. Alright? They take this stuff, and they're sitting there like this, and they're out for a number of hours, and then guess what? It wears off. Does it not? It wears off, and then you gotta go and get some more. Nothing lasts for 2 fucking days. He's a fucking liar. But yet he's gonna sit here and say, that happened, I wasn't feeling too well for 2 days. It almost, and if I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, it almost sounds like, which I'm really not trying to, but I'm trying to attack this from every angle, of course. It almost sounds like you had too much to drink, and had a hangover, and then didn't hydrate afterwards. That's what it feels like. That's what it seems like. But I don't even think it's that. I just think that you're a fucking liar. There's more to this, alright? And like I said, there's more to this, you know, these type of situations where people are fucking lying about E3. Because I'm gonna wrap this up really nice at the end for you, okay? But he's a fucking liar for thinking that anyone drugged him, and he's acting like this. Of course, he can't provide proof though, right? I'll get into more of that. Let's move on to the next fucking loser who says that they were kidnapped. That's right, kidnapped at E3 by their Uber driver. First off, let's get something straight. There's no such thing as a almost getting kidnapped. And I'll explain, okay? Because if someone's going to kidnap you, don't tell me they're just going to leave the door in the back unlocked and you can just get out and run. Don't tell me that shit when they're trying to, you know, when they're hitting every stop. Don't give me that shit. Oh, well, the Uber driver was quiet the entire time. So the fuck what? Not everyone is vocal. Not everyone's vocal. Not everyone's going to be friendly. They just take you from point A to point fucking B. Don't tell me, oh, we just ended up 40 minutes out of the way. Don't give me this shit, okay? Don't give me this shit. You're a fucking liar as well. Now look, for those who do not understand this, okay? With Uber, if you've never taken Uber, okay? You know what your driver looks like. You know the driver's name, because you see the license. You know what they give you. The name, the license plate of the car, the make of the car. They tell you everything about this driver and his or her car up front before you get into the fucking car. When you get into the car, it's in the back as well. You see it, okay? You see it. So, there's no hiding. There's none of that. You get all the information up front, okay? With that said, this person wants to sound like that they're being kidnapped, which they're not being kidnapped. Now, here's where I'm going to wrap it up real nice for you. In both of these cases, okay, both people are known to be liars, all right, in the past, but we'll hold off on that for a minute, okay? Neither person who was saying, I was drugged or I was kidnapped, neither of them told any authorities, right? You would think since it's a serious issue, you know, being fucking kidnapped, you would go to the authorities. No. And what was said about this when they were asked, why didn't you go to the authorities since you were kidnapped? Because it was too stressful. Seriously? So because she, and I say this again, so because she thought it was too stressful, you didn't go to the authorities. Now, on the flip side of the other case, where I was being drugged, dude, let's get something straight here, all right? If you're being drugged, you think you'd tell at least the organizers, right? You would tell the authorities, right? No. Neither of them told anybody, except they took to Twitter. They took to Twitter to tell everyone, but they didn't tell the organizers. They didn't tell the police. Get the fuck out of my face with this shit. You've got to be kidding me that this is something that happened. And I say this because, like I said, if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say these things really happened, then you know what that means? That means that the people who were behind this type of stuff, you just gave them a free pass because you're not letting the proper authorities know what happened. Which means they can go and do it again. That's what you did. You actually helped them out more than you did, stop their attempts. You understand that, right? This is fucking bullshit. And he said, people want to sit here and fucking lie and make up shit. Don't tell me that you were drugged and I'm sitting around for 2 days. Nothing lasts for 2 days. Nothing. Not one drug in the world lasts for 2 days if you take it once. Alright? Not one. And then on top of it, you get kidnapped because, you want to make it seem like it's a fucking action movie, some hostage movie. I barely escaped with my life when he stopped at the stop sign or the red light. Really? So he wouldn't have locked the back doors. He wouldn't have got out at the time, at a area where it's very quiet, no one's around, stopped and took you out the car, and possibly, if it was really, abducting you, put you in the trunk. Okay. All right. But within all these scares and drugs and I was almost kidnapped, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to tell the authorities because it's too stressful. No, it's just too stressful to tell the authorities. However, even though I have all the information, the guy's name, his face, the make of his car and all that. Yeah, I got all this information, but I'm not going to tell the authorities. But I'll come on Twitter and try to act like a victim. Yeah. Fuck out of here, this whole bullshit, man. Fucking lying. I swear to God. And then we have more news. For those who don't know, Paper Mario. But let's just get to it right now. Paper Mario. Oh my God. So, Zoe Quinn gets upset over Paper Mario because some of the dialogue is actually about Watergate and not Gamergate. Okay? And she thinks it's about her. Yeah. Goes to show you what type of narcissism that we're dealing with right now. Because in the screens of these Paper Mario, screens, the dialogue, they go on to elaborate that this really is about Watergate, not about, Gamergate. But Zoe Quinn doesn't want to hear that. Now, here's the thing. Remember, Zoe Quinn had left the internet for a while because she was caught, going under different, handles and sending people messages, racist, messages. So she left. So she was labeled as a racist and she ran off. All right? Don't forget that, people. Now she's back to, claim victim bucks. That's what she is. That's what she's doing right now. And everyone's falling into it. And here's the thing what I've seen. On Twitter, when people are sending them the extended screens to show that this is about Watergate, not Gamergate, what happens? They get blocked. Even Felicia Day, our queen, Felicia Day, alright? At first she didn't even know what fucking Paper Mario was, which is hilarious. She didn't know what Paper Mario was. Alright? Hardcore gamer, didn't know what Paper Mario was. But she even buys into the fact that this is all about Zoe Quinn. Like, you people can't be this fucking stupid, right? You can't be. And people are like, well, the dialogue needs to be changed. And I'm thinking to myself, aren't you the same people who didn't have a problem with, the domestication of certain dialogue when it came to changing it? And you wanted to make fun of Gamergate, not only in comic books, not only in anime, but also in video games as well? Yeah, you were okay with that. But as soon as something close to, being, Gamergate or Watergate, because if you didn't see the extended screens of it, I'm sure you could say, yeah, this is about Gamergate. I'm sure anyone can make that impression. At first, I did as well, until I saw, and like I said, this is screenshots from weeks ago, all right? And they're just catching on to it now. Yeah, just happened yesterday. So I'm thinking to myself, clearly they're out of the loop. They don't know. You know what I mean? Nobody knew, because I was sent these screens weeks ago, and I didn't care. You know what I mean? I was like, whatever. But the fact they're trying to make a big deal out of it now is just crazy. But the fact is, if you didn't see the extended screens, then you wouldn't have known that it was Watergate. But like I said, because people are sending each other the extended screens, you can't defend it. It's clearly not about Zoe Quinn. But, you know, Zoe Quinn still wants to believe everything is about her. And you're going to have these idiots who actually believe it. Like I said, for all these people who say that they know better than others, for all these people who say they're hardcore gamers but don't know what Paper Mario is, it's frauds everywhere. That's all it is. It's frauds everywhere. But we can talk about, changing dialogue and domestication of stuff, because you guys sent me something that was just absolutely egregious for what I seen. All right? When it comes to this dialogue right here. And for those who know what I'm talking about, I find when I show you it, you're going to be like, this doesn't make sense. And if you don't catch on, I will explain it to you as well. So let's look at this dialogue that was put in the game. Because once again, a lot of people are saying this is pure SJW. I don't know how close this is to the actual dialogue, as opposed to the change. But there's some things here that just make me just be like, you know what? This is why I see better writing in RPG Maker. This is exactly why. When a thug, because that's the character, a thug, when you think of a thug, you think a guy who doesn't care, he's a brute, he doesn't matter. Why the fuck would you think a thug would get triggered off of fat shaming? Fat shaming. They actually use the word fat shaming. Are you serious? Like, these fucking people, man. And like I said, when it was sent to me, people were like, you gotta be kidding me, this isn't real, right? I'm just like, and then even I had asked, I'm like, this isn't real, right? So, I'm thinking to myself, this has to be a wild change. You can't tell me that this is the original dialogue due to the fact that no one would be this stupid to think that that would be okay to put in. It's impossible to think that that would even fit some type of fucking stupid. But you want to know, since we're already on the verge of talking about stupidity and triggering, okay, last week on Twitter we talked about this, all right? And for those who don't know, who don't follow me on Twitter, we talked about how Giant Bomb is pure SJW. And a lot of people were saying, well, remember, they were attacked by SJWs. Are you telling us that they assimilated? Yeah, they assimilated. And for those who don't know, here's another example for Giant Bomb doing it, because of so much triggering, if you haven't seen it, the triggering that happened when they were reviewing the new South Park game.
What's up, Super Craig?
Ratchet and Clank. Fractured but whole.
I didn't want to have to do this, but you leave me no choice.
Oh no. Gore.
Oh no.
Did I just hear somebody
God
use a
damn it.
microaggression?
Is it Brian Bosworth?
No.
PC Principal.
Who was a big character in the last season, which was
Yep.
not good.
Not great.
Season was alright. No.
It was not good. Man, shut your bitch ass up. I'll put it like this. The only reason you think it wasn't good is because it took shots at your friends in the industry. That's if you want to even call them in the industry at this point. As far as I'm concerned, look, there's one thing if you have an opinion on something, and then you just put that emphasis on not good. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'll put it like this. I know people who didn't even know the context of PC Principal and, and who they were going after at the time. And they still felt it was hilarious. Because guess what? Not everyone knows all this shit. But they still took it in stride, and just rolled with it. And they still felt it was funny. PC Principal was fucking hilarious. It was. And they was like, Brian Bosworth. I'd have said more Jim McMahon than Brian Bosworth, but not bad. Not a bad comparison, you know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, you need to stop being a bunch of triggered little bitches. And you know what? We're going to keep moving on with that as well. For those who don't know. And this is something we need to talk about, all right? This is what really steams me up, all right? Microsoft wants to make Xbox Live safe for gamers who aren't white men. Seriously? Seriously, Microsoft? Are we going here? Now, for those who do not remember, for years and years, I have talked about this issue. And when ignored, right? Okay, I talked about how there needs to be more responsibility on Xbox Live, or online in general. There needs to be more moderation when it comes to people acting a fool, all right? But this is something that is absolutely ridiculous. Are you going to tell me that you are going to, and let's be honest here, this is segregation. That's what it is. So anyone who's not white can have safe spaces now. That's right. Who's not white males. You can have safe spaces. But if you're a white male, then you're fucked. So not everyone gets the same treatment. Not fair treatment, right? Okay. Now here's the thing. When I was doing more research in this and finding out who they talked to, so they talked to a couple of SJWs around the table. That's what they did. All right? That got the point across. So, for people like myself and other gamers who have talked about this online for years and years and years that have gone and ignored, apparently it took a bunch of middle to upper class SJWs to say, oh, no, we need our safe space. That's what got the job done. Microsoft, do you understand what the fuck you're doing? You're actually making things worse. It's almost like a slap in the face. And then to say, this is for you because you can't handle this. Because they know, and in the article they talk about how, these people attack us because we're women or because we're black or because... Do you think that people automatically know what the fuck you are online? So, I'll put it like this. If I'm playing, let's just say, Call of Duty, right? And I don't have the headset in. Don't have anything in. And I'm just playing. All of a sudden they know I'm black, so you stupid nigger, blah, 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 blah. They know. They just know. That's fucking stupid for you to assume that. Just gamers all over the world just know who other gamers look like, what they sound like, and everything. Fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of my face, man. Look, it's this simple, all right? When these type of things are being put into play, you are showing, and I put it like this, your white male consumer base, that they are less when it comes to getting, having protection of, from harassment than other minorities. Are you trying to say, seriously, what you're claiming, unless you have any stats to back it up, that it's all white males that do the harassing online? Do you have any stats to back that up? See, this is why it doesn't work. And for you to cave to SJW pressure, damn those white males, those cis white males. Microsoft, you are playing the wrong card here. And seriously, anybody who really wants to step to the forefront, because I could clearly make a case for this saying that it's racist. I can clearly make a case for this and say it's sexist. You know what I mean? But I'll just stick with segregation, because that's what you're doing. You people are allowed to have this. And how do you know if they're minorities or not? Are you going to go through their background checks? Like, seriously, are you going to look at their credit card or whatever in their name and say, okay, that person is clearly a minority. They're allowed this safe space. Seriously, I just don't understand what the fuck you're thinking, Microsoft. It's uncalled for. Instead of overall protection for, everyone who pays, your consumers who pay for your fucking network, you're going to segregate and say, okay, well, your money's good, but you're not going to get the same protection as this person with their money because they're female, or because they're black, or because they're Indian, or because they're Mexican, or Puerto Rican, or Asian, or whatever. Are you fucking serious? Let's move on. Microsoft, fuck you. Let's move on. And that's coming from someone who's a minority. Because you're treating us as a special case, almost like a charity fucking case, when you do something like that. That's the insulting part. But of course they didn't think about that, right? No. Listen to the middle class, the upper class SJWs who have nothing to complain about. Just listen to them, right? Okay. Let's move on. Link is gender neutral in Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh my god. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, apparently, SJWs once again got mad at Link. As we know, we've seen enough complaining. Link should have been a woman this time. And why can't you just accept the fact that Link is a man? Why can't you accept that? What's the problem? You didn't go and support Linkle, did you? No, you didn't. Actually, you bitched and moaned about that. First, you sat and said, this is a case for women. The women won. We got Linkle. And then the rest of the women was like, actually, no, this is just a female version of Link and it's disrespectful. Y'all didn't know what the fuck to think. Y'all were at odds. Now you want Link to be a woman. Well, the people who created Link this time around said that even though Link is a man, it says it in the article, Link is a male. But they wanted to make Link more gender neutral this time around. Even though they say Link is a male. How is it gender neutral if Link is a fucking male? You say it right in the fucking article. Okay. You know what? I don't know why people, like I said before, if you took Samus and you made him a man, you know how much outrage there would be by these same people who want Link as a woman? Okay. All right. Let's just keep going. Let's get into fighting game news, because, I'm so fucking sick of these people. But then again, walk into this shit and get sick of these people. So, let's go. Injustice 2 director Ed Boon says DLC plans will be certainly more aggressive. That's right. So they're going to hit you with a lot of DLC. And this is what I have a problem with right now. This is what happens when you make a successful product and gamers support said product and then you fuck them afterwards. That's what you're doing right now, Ed Boon. You're fucking them. You gotta be kidding me that you're going to DLC it up, I should say, even more after they supported your product. If anything, it should be the opposite. It should be, here, take this DLC, thanks for supporting. But if the gamers don't support this product, if they don't, let's just say they don't, support Injustice 2, even though we know they will. Let's just say they don't. You know what we're going to hear? Oh, well, they weren't a loyal fan base. They really didn't care. This game is dead because, they just didn't care about DC or the characters or maybe the gameplay. It'll always be 1,000 fucking reasons, but it'll always come back to blaming the consumers. It's never the company's fault that they try and rape you of your fucking wallets, right? You should be ashamed of yourself, Ed Boon. And it's not just Boon, it's WB as well. But you're still going to support this shit, right, people? You're still going to go out and support it. At this point, wait for the game. They're telling you ahead of time. Game's not even out yet. We haven't really talked about the game much, but we're going to talk about the fucking DLC. Game of the Year Edition. Game of the Year Edition. Y'all got to be kidding me, man. But there's more. Check this out. Because they're going to DLC the fuck out of your product. A $50,000 pot bonus added to MKX Evo. MKX World Wide prize pool has been doubled to $100,000. So, let me ask you this. You couldn't have taken that money, WB, or NetherRealm, and put it into the PC version that you fucked over, right? Couldn't do that. You couldn't have put, manpower, you use that money to put manpower behind the PS3 version, the 360 version that you canceled, right? No. Let's just worry about Evo. Because apparently that's what we need. Evo. Let's throw all this money to fucking Evo. You know what? And this is where I have to say people need to prioritize. Because we see this time and time again. Games have bugs, glitches, network problems, and you have to wait months on top of months on top of months to get fixes. But they got all this cash just stacked and waiting for competition. Don't you think you should tend to the product first and make sure that it's legit, that it's straight, that it's ironed out before you decide, oh, let's throw it in a tournament and throw a bunch of cash at it so that when people see it, they say, hey, that's the guy I like to play. I want to be like him. I'm going to go buy the game. We're going to get into that later, too. Yeah, we're going to get into that later, too. Yeah, I guess I'm just speaking too much fucking common sense right now. Let's go into more. Now, in more pot bonus news, KI Ultra Tour to provide $100K for KI Season 3 competition. Really? Really? And the reason I'm saying really is because for those who don't know what's getting ready to come up, check this out. Mortal Kombat Killer Instinct crossover would be Xbox One exclusive, says Boon. That's right. So, apparently someone asked him about this when you do a crossover, and he was like, yeah, that sounds fun, but it would have to be Xbox One exclusive. And then as soon as he says that, of course the people from Xbox was like, we're all in, let's do it. Fucking unreal, man. Just, you know what? Speaking of more unreal, let's just fucking move on. Just these people. Like I said, in gamers, like I said, at one point, it's the companies trying to fuck you. Now, once again, it's the community trying to fuck you. And it's not even much community, it's the community falling for the bait, I should say. For those who don't know. Capcom. Oh, fucking Capcom. Let me tell you. Alright, so Capcom. You're going to tell me, not too long ago, and a lot of people messaged me on Twitter about this, and were saying, wait a minute, Event said something positive about Capcom. Yes, I gave Capcom credit, just 2 weeks ago, on making those rules for their Capcom Pro Tour, right? Gave them credit, because I said, that's the right thing to do. They're going about the right way. We know they got rid of the porn stuff, and they got rid of the alcohol stuff, and all that. We know, right? Right? Okay. 2 weeks later, you go and fucking backtrack, Capcom. Capcom USA approved Budlight All Stars and talks with Anheuser Busch for the future. Really? Really? So, let me get this straight. So now that you've backtracked on some of this stuff, you might as well let start people acting fool again. You might as well open it back up to letting the porn industry back in as well. What is the point? You made these rules and you didn't stick to your fucking guns. Right? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's all it took for you to backtrack. What they do, come to you and say, hey, look, see all this money? You could use this money. You know you need this money. Street Fighter V's not doing so well. You could use this money. And you was like, you right. You right. We'll backtrack. You've got to be fucking kidding me. But there's more. There's more. Oh, yeah. Capcom. Capcom decides to get rid of the Zenny in-game currency. Does Capcom know what the fuck they want to do? Do they know what they want to do? Look, it doesn't matter if you were for it or against it. They put it in the game, and it's been, what, a couple months, all of a sudden? Gone. They don't know what the fuck they want to do. It's absolutely ridiculous. My God. Unreal. Oh, my God, unreal. It's so unreal how quick Capcom is just like, all right, we're going to put these rules in. Wait, nope. We'll go back out of that. Wait, we put the system in-game currency. Oh, wait, let's get rid of that, too. They don't know what the fuck they want to do. And I can understand during updates, depending on fan feedback, how, if the fans like certain things. But that's not the case here. All right? They're making these decisions on their own. I'm going. So, like I said, 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks for you to lose your integrity. It took 2 weeks for you to decide, okay, you know what? We're just going to fuck everyone. It took 2 weeks for you to lose your integrity when it came to these rules. That's what it took. It's not even about what company it is. It's not. It's about making a specific rule there and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to stick with. This is what we stand for. And then 2 weeks later, you just, no. We're going to slither back. Yeah. Let's move on. Speaking of E3, for those who didn't see, I'm going to put the link in the info bar. All right? But for those who don't know, apparently Lupe ran into someone called him a legend. I would just say he's a known player because, let's be honest here, if you go out in the street, some of these people who play Street Fighter, they're not going to know who Alex is. But apparently he ran into Alex. And Alex washed the fuck out of him, which was hilarious. And he talks the entire time to Lupe. Oh my God, it's great to watch. So I'll put the link in the info bar for that. But the reason why I'm not going to talk too much about that is because we need to talk about rappers trying to get into this fighting game community. That's right. Now, we've seen what Lupe has done when it comes to the fighting game community. He's pretty much disrespected the entire community. He's made it look like a fool. I mean, you got Daigo, who it's hard to respect now, took a dive for Lupe, okay? And now he's going around talking shit. Well, he's not talking shit anymore after what Alex did to him, but talking shit. And then you try and, you challenge, you disrespected the Mortal Kombat community. Then you said you had a fight coming up in King of Fighters, but we never saw that come to any, didn't go anywhere really with that. Then afterwards, you challenged Zero in Smash. So you're just going around left and right trying to fuck with people. And then you told, the FGC, of course, you've said over time and time again how they're not worth shit, how they're not esports, how they're this, and they're not this, and we've seen it, okay? I don't need to keep reminding people of this due to the fact that we talk about this shit just about every week, all right? But you've seen what one rapper has done to damage the community. Well, get ready for a bunch of rappers to walk in and do the same thing that Lupe did. Don't tell me that I didn't tell you this was going to happen. Now, let's break this down. Because I find this funny, because I'm sure you're seeing this, and a lot of gamers are like, who the fuck are these guys? You know what I mean? Like, who are these rappers? And on the flip side of that, because I'm going to break this down on both sides, you're going to have people from the hood who listen to these rappers. First off, I don't even think they're going to get the memo knowing that they're going to be playing Street Fighter V. I don't think they really give a shit. But they're going to look at that, if they get the memo and see that chart and be like, who the fuck are these dorks? That's what they're going to say. All right? So, you have to ask yourself, how does this benefit the community? All right? It doesn't. This is, once again, people trying to be famous. That's what it is. It's getting said rapper against said, if you want to call it popular fighting game player, okay, and trying to pair them up so that they try to get some type of elevation so their status can both go up. That's all it is. All right? First off, I'm not watching this shit. You know why? Because I got better things to do. If I don't have anything to do, guess what? I'll find something to do before I watch that shit. Okay? Just letting you know that now. Because it's a fucking joke. But the fact that they're trying to bring in these rappers now, screams desperation from Capcom. It does. It screams it. Of course, they're trying to find another market, a mass market. If you bring in said rapper, his fan base will buy Street Fighter V. That's what it is. They are sacrificing the loyalty of the community, the integrity. I understand with all our problems in the FGC that, people say integrity, ha ha ha. I know. But there are people who still have integrity, all right, in this community. But you're sacrificing that for mass appeal. That's what you're doing. Now, you would think that they would have learned their lesson last time with Lupe and Daigo. But no. They're going to keep this going. And they're going to keep bastardizing your community. Now, here's the thing. For every, person who want to act tough, you know what I mean, pop off or whatever, I don't see no pop-offs when it comes to all these rappers. No. Because said rapper will probably get up in your face and punch you in it. That's why. But the fact that you're bringing these rappers in tells me that you really don't have anything else going for you. You don't. Now, here's the thing. People are going to look at Evo and say, because for those who don't know, Evo, I believe there's over 4,000 entrants in Street Fighter V for Evo. And here's the thing about that. You got to be kidding me if you think that, let's say, there's the same, top 10 maybe, top 15 people? We'll get to the, it'll be the same people that you already know. When you have Street Fighter V, and you're saying 4,000 is a lot of people, not compared to the many units that they sold. Now, here's the thing. When you look at the many units that they sold, because remember, so a lot of you defended that, oh my God, they didn't make over, X amount of, million sold, but they did do the 600,000 mark or whatever. That's not bad. It's better than nothing. We'll talk about that later as well. But, understand that within all those units sold, a little over 4,000 people. That's not a lot of people, believe it or not. It's not a lot. It goes to show you that, once again, your masses should have been catered to beforehand, which brings back the old argument. What the fuck were you thinking, Capcom? Fucking people with single player and just thinking, oh, we're just going to have this network. And then we found out that you only had one guy coding for the fucking network. Okay, let me not get started on that. Okay? You have to understand that at the end of the day, that this it hurts the community so much, and this is going to keep going. It's going to. Because now they found a new gimmick. That's what it is. It's not a doorway to lead the FGC into bigger and better things. It's a gimmick. It is short term. That's what it is. And it's not short term for the FGC as it is short term for Capcom trying to make more money. That's what it is. Has nothing to do with the community whatsoever when it comes to these type of power play moves. They could give a fuck less. Okay? And you would think that the FGC, in this case, when you're seeing this shit, when you see something like this announced, you're just like, fuck this, dude. Fuck this. You just walk away. I mean, we already seen people, arguing. We've seen left and right arguing, Overwatch is killing the FGC. I didn't think one game could kill the entire fighting game community, but whatever. There was a Capcom's killing the FGC. Whatever. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too. But the fact that these rappers are coming on and doing this, and it's just, if you haven't noticed, it's not going to be nothing but pair famous rapper, like I said, with somewhat known, player in the fighting game community. It just gets up there, pushes their status, and you have to also understand it keeps them in the limelight. I told you before how these guys are trying desperately when it comes to the fighting game community to stay in the limelight as much as possible. Like I said, this is about skills. That's what it should be about. Every fighting game, you have prided yourself off skills. That's what this shit is about. It's not about, we got to make up some type of drama. We've got to turn into a bad guy in order to be recognized. We've got to pair ourselves up with someone famous so that we get FaceTime. None of this shit has nothing to do with fighting games. Have you not understood that? I know some people are going to say, well, they've got an image to uphold and stuff like that. No, they fucking don't. This is not a business for them to just be like, oh, well, I have this image, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do this. No, you don't. You play fucking video games. You play a fucking fighting game. That's what you do. If you want an image to uphold and do something, become a philanthropist, if that's the case. Don't give me this shit where all of a sudden you have an image to uphold. Unfucking real. Anyways, speaking more of Street Fighter V. that's just some good news for the PC version, for those who have not seen it yet. You can play as Tracer from Overwatch, since we just talked about Overwatch. As, I should say, you can play as Tracer, but it's actually Cammy. It's just a Tracer skin in Street Fighter V. So, let's look at that real quick. Actually a pretty good skin if you ask me. But speaking of people who are trying to get into other skin, let's talk about once again our favorite parasite, Markman, as he decides once again, as you know, all the popular people that gotta circle jerk each other, this time he wants to give Maximilian credit for, praising Tekken. Now, mind you, he also praised Hip Hop Gamer for praising Tekken. As we know, Hip Hop Gamer doesn't even fucking play Tekken. Clearly, this is PR work at play. That's all it is. Now, here's the problem I have with this, because we've seen this time and time again. We talked about it before, how all the popular guys, all they do is circle jerk each other, and it seems like all they can talk about is these AAA games. I mean, let's be honest here. You want to sit here and praise Max when Max has gone on record and said that, a lot of these games don't look that good unless they, they have to combine with Street Fighter, with Capcom, in order to survive, which is a bunch of shit. And if you say something like that, then yeah, I'm not going to take you seriously for the rest of no matter what your opinion is afterwards. After that, I'm not going to take you fucking seriously. But let's get something straight here. There's a reason they call this the FGC. And what I mean by that is, you have to understand that the FGC, there's a vast number of video games to play, fighting games to play. And we have seen so many games fly under the radar because of games like Tekken, because of games like Street Fighter V, and you realize that Street Fighter V really isn't that good, as opposed to other games like Guilty Gear or King of Fighters and things of that nature. We've seen it, okay? Now, of course, some people will say, well, I disagree with you, and that's fine. If you have a difference of opinion, you think Street Fighter V is the holy grail of fighting games right now, then hey, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm not going to argue with you on that, because there's no point in arguing with you. If that's what you feel, your mind is made up, then hey, that's on you. Have a go at it. You know what I mean? But you have to understand, fighting game community means that we have so many fighting games and so many fans of different or said fighting games. But the problem is these days is that because companies throw so much money, and you just saw earlier, we're going to throw $50,000 here, $100,000 here, or whatever. A lot of other companies who don't have that type of money to throw around don't have that type of support for those type of games to get bigger. So, let's talk about games that aren't as popular, that do deserve some credit here. So let's start with Blade Arcus. You've got to be kidding me that this game is still flying under the radar. I talked about this before, Blade Arcus, and yet, for everyone who says that, they look for games where, you want high-level skill, well, Blade Arcus is your game. Because if you whiff on a move and you get punished, you might as well just sit there and watch. You might as well sit there, and it's a game where you have to be so careful. If you're not careful, then there's a problem. Alright? You're going to be caught every fucking time that way. And it seems like Blade Arcus, once again, these games that are good, the way they're designed, and they're so good, but it's not getting the credit it deserves. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about Nitro Blasters. That's right, Plus. I know people say, waifu fighter, waifu fighter, waifu. It doesn't fucking matter if you think it's a waifu fighter or not. If the game has great technical ability and technical skill, what's the problem? What's the problem? These games are good. Once again, this is one of the things where Nitro Blasters, it needs more. And I put it like this, it has a lot of charm to it. It's one of those games, it needs more support. because I'm shocked. I'm actually literally shocked that when it comes to Nitro Blasters, that it hasn't been a big deal. Like seeing there's no tournaments really of it that much. And I was like, well, this game just came out not too long ago. I'd have thought by now that this would have picked up steam, but it didn't. And I'm just like, what's going on here? So you're telling me these games flying under the radar that are of quality, we're just going to ignore because, once again, Street Fighter V or MKX, whatever, or AAA. Come on, these games are still good. You still string, combos together. You can still play high-level offense and defense in these type of games. Of course, you have some assists or whatever, but whatever. The case is, there's still great technical games, fighting games, that are flying under the radar, and it's really bothering me. And, once again, I guess I should feature this game, showcase this game today, which is the third one, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let's look at Rumblefish. I'm just trying to figure out how games like this still don't get the credit they deserve. I don't get it. No, seriously. Let's be honest here. I mean, you know that Tekken, you know that Street Fighter, all these AAA games, they're going to make their money. They're going to get their fan bases. They're going to get their tournaments. They're going to get all that type of stuff. But these type of games, I'm just wondering, why won't you try something different for once? Even if it's just to dick around with. You know what I mean? Just to say, hey, because you love fighting games, right? You like to play different fighting games. Or are you one of those guys who says, I'm part of the fighting game community, but you only play one game? Is that it? And if you say, well, Event, I did try this game, and it wasn't my cup of tea, then you know what? That's fine, too. I'm not going to get on you for that. If you didn't like it, then you didn't like it. You know what I mean? I can't say, no, you have to like this. No one is saying that. No one's trying to guilt you or shame you into trying something that you don't like or think that you won't like. Because there's enough footage, that you can say, hey, I like this, or hey, I don't like this. You know what I mean? There's enough footage you can go around, without. So, as far as I'm concerned, I just feel as though these type of games need more credibility. You know what I mean? They need more support, I feel as though. Because, I shouldn't say even credibility, because it's there. It's there. But the support, the lack of support, I should say, is where it's at. And I think a lot of people, I'm sure there's going to be people like, you know what, I didn't even hear this game. I'm sure there's going to be people that say that, you know what I mean? But that's, once again, it's one of those things where if the word doesn't get out, then a lot of people don't know. And for a community, we're supposed to support certain games, you know what I mean? Like, say, even if there's games that you don't like, you still, I won't say support it as in buying it, but you still cheer it on because you want to see the community thrive. That's what you do. But, of course, what we've seen over the years is, well, I don't like this game, so this community is shit, and we're going to go at odds with each other. Hello, Smash community. And I feel as though that's wrong, too. You've got to be kidding me that you're going to shun a certain community because it doesn't play the way you like it. You don't shun the entire community for that. No. If they're getting big, well, then guess what? My hat's off to them. You know what I mean? But everything can't just be Street Fighter. And it seems like they, or Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. It's amazing how they're still trying to push Marvel, and yet a lot of people, if you talk to them, they really don't give a shit. But we're still going to throw money at it because, we got big guys here playing. And once again, the guys that you have playing in these tournaments when it comes to that do not outweigh the mass people who play your games that sold your units. They don't. like I said, I'm not a fan of people trying to be celebrities. Look, you get known for your skills. If you get famous for your skills, that's fine too. But if you get famous for your fucking antics, you can fuck off. It's that simple. That's simple. You say, what if they have both? Well, no. You don't need both. That's the thing. If you have the skills, you don't need the antics. You don't. All you gotta do is just use your skills to back yourself up. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. But it seems like these days, everybody wants to be, and I won't even say a star. It's more like F-list reality TV. That's what it feels like. Let's move on. Please, let's move on. Let's talk about Berserk. That's right. Now, for those who have not seen the new, the new trailer just came out not too long ago. It came out, I believe, I saw it this morning. So, yeah, doesn't look bad so far. Once again, Dynasty Warriors Berserk. That is fine as long as they, if they're going to stick with the story like we talked about before. If they're going to go really hard into the story of Berserk from the manga. And here's some news for you. Berserk is starting from the Golden Age arc. That's right. So there's some news for you, all right? So you know what you're getting yourself into now. Also, let's talk about this because we talked about it not too long ago because Mighty Number 9. Yeah, now look, a lot of people have done a lot of talking about Mighty Number 9, and some have done videos that, you know what, I felt as though I don't even need to say anything really that much. But I do need to speak on this part of Mighty Number 9. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out this clip.
And at the end of the day, even if it's not perfect, it's better than nothing. At least that's my opinion.
The game is getting shit reviews. The Wii U has been bricked because of this game. Some gamers have made a joke and said, no, the Wii U didn't get bricked because of Mighty Number 9. It actually self-sacrificed itself so that it had to play that garbage. But it's bricking consoles, alright? It seems like the only people who don't have a problem right now with Mighty Number 9 is actually the PC version. Delay after delay after delay, and then on your release day, you delay the Xbox version. Are you serious? So a delay on release day. Okay. Yet, all these problems you're having with the game, because people were saying there's lag, there's this, it feels soulless compared to, Mega Man. It's more of you just dashing and running as opposed to actually feeling like you're at the heart of Mega Man. Nothing feels the same when it comes to Mighty Number 9 being, its spiritual successor to Mega Man. And you want to say, it's better than nothing. All those people who donated to you, alright? Donate all that money, better than nothing. Every time you came out with a new update, the game looked worse and worse and worse than it did the previous version. Better than nothing. Are you going to sit here and tell me that is acceptable? You understand that you are dealing with consumers who are looking for a quality, and I say this, quality product. You understand it, right? And you fail to deliver. But it's better than nothing. If that's the case, if that's what you're going to take for now, and I'm hoping that people learn from this situation, because how long ago did I tell people, go get your money back? Get a refund. Didn't I tell you that? I told you, go get your money back. Now we're here, and they screwed you. And they're letting you know they don't give a shit. Better than nothing. Take it for what it is. And we're seeing all these developers come out and saying, you shouldn't make fun of that development team. They worked hard to give you something that you wanted. Why don't you understand that they didn't give people what they wanted? It wasn't of quality. It's not what they wanted. They didn't ask for that. But yet, you still want to try and defend mediocrity. When you see people try and defend mediocrity, it goes to show you how low their standards are. When you donate that much money, and you have all this money, seriously, like I said, Ukulele looks a lot better than this. A lot better. With less money. You can't sit here and tell me that it's okay. It's a travesty. I say that. I say, if anything, this hurts Kickstarter bad. I don't mean just the company. I'm just saying for games in general. Because people are going to look back on us and say, you know what? We gave a lot of money, and we didn't get what we want. God knows what the next game's going to look like. And as we know, not all games are going to be bad from Kickstarter. We know that. But this will stick. This will. As far as I'm concerned, and like I said, Inafune, I told y'all last time, Inafune's already talking about a sequel. You can't even get the first one right. Cancel your sequel. Cancel your animation series. Cancel all this shit. I understand it's already in the process, but if people don't care about the game because it was delayed so long, and then on top of it, you fuck them over. And I swear to God, if I'd have bought that game and it bricked my Wii U, I would have been pissed. I'd have been heated. And it's having all these problems, and you want to say better than nothing when consoles are literally being bricked because of it, better than nothing? That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. You can sit and try and defend this game all you want, but when it's messing up systems, it's unacceptable. It's disgusting. Speaking of more things that are disgusting, The Division. Yeah, The Division. Let's talk about it. The Division patch to bring significant change to weapon balance. Okay, so let me get this straight, Ubisoft. Game came out in March. It's almost July. And you're just now giving weapon balances. Get fucked. Get fucked. Let's move on. Nioh developer isn't compromising on Dark Souls-like difficulty. So whenever a game is hard now, we just want to call it Dark Souls-like difficulty, huh? Okay. Look, I feel like this. There shouldn't be a compromise. There shouldn't be. As far as I'm concerned, let the difficulty stay the way it is. It may need some balances. What number you had said, the game when you played the demo. It needs some balances here and there. But other than that, keep it the way it is. Not a problem. I don't have a problem with it. I feel as though this is something that's going to go well. Also, Platinum teases Okami 2 and Bayonetta 3, as well as a collaboration with Capcom. Well, if you're teasing Okami, then I guess you would have to collaborate with Capcom. But to say Bayonetta 3 and then say there's going to be a collaboration, dare I say Bayonetta and Dante together? May I say that? Dare I say that? Okay. We'll see what happens in the future with that. Also, in more news, which was probably some good news for some people. Hate the company, but this game was always good. Activision set to release Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Transformers Fall of Cybertron on PS4 and Xbox One. Now, I don't really care about Fall of Cybertron. That's not really what I want to talk about. You know I want to talk about Ultimate Alliance, right? Okay, let's talk about this. For those who don't know the history of Ultimate Alliance, not even that, X-Men Legends as well. I have both games. These games would still be able to be playable online if Activision didn't cut the fucking online to the games. So, the question is, I wonder how long they're going to last. You bring them out for, a new generation. Will you give them online? And if you give them online, will you stick with it? Because you didn't stick with the PS2 version of Ultimate Alliance. You didn't stick with the PS2 version of X-Men Legends online. No, you cut those off fairly early. So I'm wondering if they're going to do a disservice to this and say, hey, we got our money, you know what I mean? Now we're not going to give you online. Because that would be kind of a fucked up thing to do. If you think about it, they want you to stay on their networks, so you should give you online play, right? The fact is, you should be remaking these type of beat-em-ups anyway. X-Men Legends should get a remake as well. They should. Because let's be honest here, people. These games, you can spend hours playing with friends. You know what I mean? Get 4 people together and just run through the game. And guess what? You're going to do it again, but just with a different character this time. You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly building and building, and you just keep playing. You're having fun. Especially with headset support. Dude, you'd be there all day doing that. You know what I mean? Those are fun games. They're great games. Activision, I would say, don't screw the customers on this one. Give them everything that they want. And I'll put it like this: if people buy the game, you give them online, and the game is doing well, you know what you need to do? You need to go back and look at your licensing and say, you know what? Since we're doing so well, let's start giving them new characters. Let's start giving them new stages. If it's successful. If it's successful, then by all means, give them more, because that's where the money is. All you gotta do is follow the trail. That's all you gotta do. It seems like game companies don't like to do that, though. And in the last bit of news, The Last Guardian. That's right. The collector's edition is revealed and is coming to the UK. Now, Last Guardian, I would say, is going to be great. We've been waiting for this game since the PS3 era, and I'm still a bit salty, I'll say it, a bit salty, that they pushed it and waited for the PS4 to come out with this game, because we were waiting for the PS3 version for this. So I'm a bit salty about that, you know what I mean? But, other than that, I still think the game is going to be great. I feel as though there's going to be no pressure from the developers. Now that they have time and they're showing you stuff, they're on a good timetable. It should be a great game. It should be. Now, if you lay an egg, I'm saying if you lay an egg, and you're not going to hear the end of it. You're not. It took you this long to make this game, and this game sucked. Yeah, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Like I said, I'm sure the game will be great, but by all means, just don't go that route. You know, make sure that it's quality and it's not just better than nothing. Please don't do that. Please don't. That's just disgusting. It is. Anyways, I'm done. For the things I've seen, I think we've dealt with enough things today between SJW's lying, trying to change Link again. I don't know why they just don't leave it. Just let it fucking go. Let it go. The FGC being bastardized. Pretty much they're being baited into being a bunch of bitches. That's pretty much what it is, and it seems like people are willing to do that for some reason. Nobody has any backbone anymore. I don't get it. You've got Inafune, or should I say, Inafune, just telling you it's better than nothing, or his staff is telling you it's better than nothing. After all the money you gave him, $4 million, something like that? Better than nothing. Get the fuck out of here. Con man. That's what he is, a con man. You can't tell me, so yeah. It's disgusting. This weekend, I don't know if y'all have been able to tell, but I'm very sick. That's exactly why I didn't do the video yesterday. I was very sick yesterday. Going to take it easy for the rest of the week. Over the weekend, more likely Saturday, I'll be on my Wii U, either playing Monster Hunter or Xenoblade Chronicles. Haven't played either in quite a while, so if you're on the Wii U on Saturday and you see me online, don't be a stranger. You know what I mean? So, please, people, understand that understand that the things that you have seen today, and the links, like I said, all links will be in the info bar as usual, you know. But the things you've seen today, you have to understand that everyone is out to get theirs. Okay? That's what it is. Not a lot of people are about community-oriented anymore. It's not like, you know what I mean, you got your 5, you're running on the court, I'm gonna get this dime right now. I'm gonna pass it off to somebody. You know, a lot of people ain't passing off anymore, if you haven't realized that. It's all about them. It's all about being the superstar. It's all about trying to take the last shot, the last second. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be relevant. And I don't understand that. Why the fuck do you I'll play this. Is your life that fucked up that you need the world to know that, hey, I do this? Is that it? I mean, you're talking to a person whose channel wasn't even created by himself. You know what I mean? People demanded the channel. You know what I mean? Through comment section. You know, when I was starting out, it was just going to comment sections and talking to other YouTubers through comments. I wasn't even thinking about doing videos. You know what I mean? Everything you've seen here today, you know what I mean, that's built up to now, has been because people have requested it. It's been because of backing and support. It hasn't been because I just said, hey, I'm just going to do this. You know what I mean? People who make Twitter accounts. Y'all remember, I only made a Twitter account because y'all asked me to make a Twitter account. I only did the Facebook fan page because y'all asked me to make the Facebook fan page. Other than that, I wouldn't be on this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then you have these other people who want to be stars, and they make one. Yeah, if I make this, people will follow. Not because people asked, but because they feel as though people will follow. It's weird. Like I said, what kind of fucked up life do you have where you think you need to be relevant because you play a fighting game? What kind of fucked up life do you have that you feel as though you need to be relevant in order to kiss ass? That's how you have to kiss ass in order to be relevant. What kind of fucked up life do you have that you feel as though you're relevant if you lie enough? Like degenerates. That's how I see it. And not when I say degenerates, I don't mean the cool way, like, oh, DX and all that. No, I mean real, bottom line, fucking garbage bin degenerates. Fucking idiots. I don't understand it. Maybe it's just me. You know what I mean? Maybe I just feel as though there's other things to do. Like I said, I'm not going to sit around and watch a bunch of rappers playing. Like I said, their fan base will say, well, these rappers are playing a bunch of nobodies, a bunch of dorks. And then the fighting game community will say, well, these guys are playing a bunch of rappers we've never heard of. Who gives a shit? I'm not sitting there wasting my time, man. If you're a gamer, you're going to play games, right? If you like sports, you're going to watch sports. You're not going to sit around or go out and play sports. You're not going to sit around and watch someone, you know, play a rapper. You know what I mean? Oh, we're going to play it this time on Twitch, blah, blah, blah. Y'all want to tell me exactly how many people in the hood know about Twitch? How many people? Because I put it like this. People in the hood barely get online. Let alone, Twitter, but let alone anything else. You think they're going to go on Twitch to watch some rappers play video games? Alright. Yeah, I'm done. It's whatever. I'll talk to y'all then. Y'all be safe. Until then, I'm out.